So a couple of months ago, I did an entire team of Pokemon based on cats. So naturally, I had to do a full team of Pokemon based on dogs as well. But here's the thing. There are so many dog Pokemon that exist. Let me give you a quick rundown. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, we've had 3 dog Pokemon, one of which had its own storyline, and another dog Pokemon that was also considered a legendary Pokemon, even though it sure doesn't look like one. In the generation before that, we've got 3 more dog Pokemon, 2 of which are the cover legendaries of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and one of them is the most broken Pokemon to ever exist. In the generation before that, we got another legendary dog Pokemon, which is a dog version of Zygarde, and another dog Pokemon that could evolve into 3 different forms of the same dog Pokemon. And in the generation before that, we got another dog Pokemon with 10 different forms and hairstyles, and apparently this thing is a dog, but I just don't even see how this thing could possibly be a dog. Today, I will be using 2 teams of Pokemon based on dogs. If you have an idea for a Pokemon team, be sure to comment below, and I will use it. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Now let's get right into the battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using a whole lot of dog Pokemon. So there are many dog Pokemon, some of which aren't in Scarlet and Violet, like Manectric and Boltund and Furfrou. So I'm using all of the ones that are in Scarlet and Violet, well, except for Zacian and Zamazenta, because they're Ubers. So special thank you to Duskwolf for coming up with this team idea. Of course, someone with Wolf in their name came up with the dog team idea. I am using 2 different teams, and I have 2 interesting battles, and I hope you enjoy them. Now, I'm going to switch out versus the Pheasantipede. Really, this is a Pokemon that I just never really know what it does. So they're going to go for the Sludge Bomb. I really wanted to scout whether or not it was like a Swords Dance Technician Pheasantipede, or if it was like a Calm Mining set. So it goes for the Sludge Bomb. That tells me that it might be more of a bulky Calm Mining set. Now, this Houndstone is not like anything you've ever seen. I can say that much. But this Pokemon is mainly known for doing some really heinous stuff with like Last Respect, or mainly even also being a defensive wall with Fluffy. But I'm running a Choice Specs Houndstone. Its special move pool is really bad. So I'm gonna go for the trick, which was pretty catastrophic because Volcarona came in, and I'm gonna give Volcarona a Choice Specs. I was like, oh my gosh, no. So this Pokemon doesn't really get any good special coverage. I have Shadow Ball, Terra Blast Fighting, Trick, and Mud Shot. It's so bad. But I have my Houndoom here. They actually missed the Hurricane, so I was like, oh my gosh. I dodged a Choice Specs Hurricane. That's nice. So they're gonna go for another Hurricane. I tanked that very well, because I'm running a specially defensive Houndoom. So Houndoom gets some pretty interesting status moves. By the way, the sets on this team were absolutely crazy. From both teams, actually, they were just, I don't even know what I was cooking. So this Pokemon gets Toxic, which is really interesting. I have Pain Split as well. It gets access to Pain Split for recovery. I have Snarl to lower the special attack, and I have Super Fang as well. So the Petrarch comes in on my Super Fang, which is unfortunate, but I thought I should be able to do a lot of damage to this thing with the Snarl, and I could also get a special attack drop on it as well. So I do get off some really big damage against the Petrarch, and they go for the Parting Shot as well. So I was like, okay, that's fine. They didn't try to go for the Malignant Chain Toxic Poison on me, which is good. And so now they're going to swap into their Bombird. So I was like, okay, well, this Pokemon has Rocky Payload, so Rock moves are going to do a whole lot of damage to me. I obviously don't want to stay in, because this Pokemon can be very good versus the Volcarona. They just a lot of their special attackers. So I'm going to swap into my Darkspawn here. I take a lot of damage from that Stone Edge, and I'm going to be able to outspeed and go for the Play Rough. This is a Choice Scarf Darkspawn. It's pretty interesting. It's also my Bodega Dog. Let me get a chopped cheese. Let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese. You know what I'm saying? So this has a Play Rough, Body Press, Crunch, and Copycat, even though it's a dog. So Clodsire comes in. It's really unfortunate. I decided to go for the Play Rough just in case they opted to stay in with their Bombird. And I really didn't have any switches to like a Stone Edge or something. So I'm going to swap into my Mabalstiff this turn. And I thought, well, my Mabalstiff was meant to be like this taunting, it's a stall breaking Mabalstiff set, actually. So I have Guard Dog on this because it's a dog. It's interesting because a lot of dog Pokemon get access to Intimidate, but with a lot of the dog Pokemon on this team that you'll see later on, I didn't put Intimidate on them. So going for the jaw lock. So now that's gonna lock us both in. And I have this really interesting set with jaw lock and taunt. And taunt is going to be able to prevent this Clodsire from going for any kind of recovery moves at all. So I also have Hone Claws on this set to increase my attack and my accuracy, just in case I'm in front of a Pokemon that can't really do a whole lot of damage to me. And I do go for the taunt, preventing this Clodsire from going for recover. So I was like, okay, this is good. Clodsire is always just one of those Pokemon that never just seem to faint. So it's really good for me to get off as much damage as I possibly can versus this thing. And their Earthquakes aren't really doing too much to me either. So I was like, okay, that's good. I could be able to go for the jaw lock next turn and take out the Clodsire, which is great. So this is like a stall breaking set. It's really good versus like walls and everything. So they're gonna swap into Pheasantipede again. And I was like, well, this Pokemon, I obviously don't want to lose my Houndstone. Not my Houndstone, my Bombastive. I swapped in my Houndstone. And I thought, well, I don't really need this Pokemon anymore because I'm poisoned. And I really don't think I'm going to be doing a whole lot of damage with this team. Special Houndstone is just so bad. So they're going to set up the Calm Mind. And I thought, well, they might go for the Moonblast this turn. I actually tanked the Moonblast, thankfully. So I'm gonna be able to go for the Mud Shot this turn and drop its speed at the very least. I do like no damage to it, but giving it a speed drop is always nice, I guess. So I'm gonna get taken out by the poison, but I thought that's fine. Houndstone really wasn't gonna be doing a whole lot of damage, and I can bring on my Mabosif here. Now, I'm gonna take some rocks damage, and I have a Slack Berry on this to boost my speed. And I never said what the last move on this set was, but I have Destiny Bond on this, and I'm hoping that the Pheasantipede won't be able to predict the Destiny Bond, and that they'll go for the Moonblast and take me out, which they do. I was like, perfect. Pheasantipede is, again, a Pokemon I never really know what it does, so I was really happy to be able to get rid of Pheasantipede because it was a really big counter for my entire team, actually. So I was really happy to get that KO. So bringing out my Scarf Darkspun in the back, and they're going to bring in their Torterra with the Shell Smashing capability. So I was like, oof, this could be pretty scary, not gonna lie. So they're gonna Terrasilize their Torterra. I was really hoping that they wouldn't be Terra Steel or like Terra Fire, but they're Terra Rock. So I assume that this is like loaded dice of Rock Blast, and it also has like Bullet Seed as well. So I'm gonna outspeed, go for the Play Rough. Torterra has naturally good defense, but I get an attack drop, which is really great because now it's gonna only be at +1 attack after its Shell Smash. So I was like, okay, well, this is good. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to outspeed, but Torterra is a very slow Pokemon, and depending on whether or not they're Jolly versus Adamant, I might be able to outspeed and get off another Play Rough. So going for another Play Rough, I do actually outspeed even after the Shell Smash. They're obviously going to take me out with the Earthquake, but I thought, that's fine. Darkspun did some really great damage, and I can bring in my Mighty Anna here. It's time for Animal Jam. Who played Animal Jam, by the way? So, this is a Moxie Mighty Anna. I actually just went for the Sucker Punch straight up. I was gonna not go for that just in case they try to predict that, but I went for the Sucker Punch and got a Moxie boost, so that's really good. I got rid of their Terra, and I got rid of the Shell Smashing threat that was that Pokemon. So they're gonna bring in the Volcarona now. Now I thought this turn, okay, I have a Flash Fire Houndoom in the back and an Arcanine. I kind of anticipate that this might be like Choice Specs Bug Buzz, so I Terrasilize into a Fairy type just in case that they were that set. So going for the Sucker Punch, I do over half to the Volcarona, which is nice. I'm also running a Life Orb on this as well, but they go for the Fiery Dance. I was like, oh no, I really wasn't expecting them to do that. I really thought they would go for the Bug Buzz that turn because like I said, I have my my Houndoom with Flash Fire, which is always going to be immune. So damn, I really wasn't expecting. That was a good play on their part to go for the Fiery Dance instead of like the Bug Buzz that turn. So I thought, well, like I said, I have my Houndoom with the Flash Fire, so I can always switch in on this thing, and I could go for the Snarl and just take out whatever they have in the back. They really don't have any switch into this Snarl, so they're gonna swap into their Bombird. They're on a very low amount of health, so I take them out with the Snarl, which is good. Now the last two Pokemon are the Volcarona, which are Choice Specs, and the Pecharunt. And the Pecharunt I knew could be able to outspeed and do some really good damage with the Snarl. Oh my gosh. So the Volcarona does have Bug Buzz. They didn't go for it earlier, so I was like, oh shoot. Okay, well I do tank it at the very least. I could get off a Snarl here. Now, this turn I thought, well, Houndoom is always going to outspeed the Petron in the back, and I could go for Snarls and take that out just in case my Arcanine won't be able to take out the Petron. And I could switch in my Arcanine now and tank the Bug Buzz at the very least. So I'm going to swap out my Houndoom. Oh my goodness. And the Arcanine is going to come in. Now I have a heavy duty boot set on this. This is a special attacking Arcanine. So I take so much damage from the Bug Buzz. It was a critical hit. I was like, holy smokes, that did way too much to me. But I have like a resistance to it, so that's nice. And I have an Overheat Solar Beam Scorching Sand set, so this is a special Arcanine. So going for the Overheat, I was hoping I would be able to take out the Petron, but it just lives. I really thought it would take it out from that range, especially considering this Petron might be more defensive. So I thought, okay, that's fine, because my Houndoom can always outspeed, and I can go for the Snarl on this Petron and take it out this turn, because I know that this Pokemon might be more of a bulky spread, and my Houndoom should be safe to go for the Snarl and take it out. So swapping in my Houndoom. By the way, I forgot that they set up Stealth Rocks. No, that was such a I don't even know how to explain that. You know what? It just happens. Sometimes it just happens. There's so much things to focus on in the battle that you just forget about the hazard sometimes. I really forgot about the Stealth Rocks though. I so hesitantly swapped in my Houndoom, thinking I was so laser focused on the fact that I outsped and could just KO the Petron with the Snarl. That was just such a blunder on my part, by the way. Jeez. But you know, it happens. You know, at the end of the day, those kinds of things happen. There's nothing that I can say about that. So on to the second game. I can't believe I made that error. That was I should have just stayed in. Anyway, so I'm gonna lead off my Smeargle. This is my favorite dog Pokemon, by the way. And this is a defensive Smeargle. It's max health, max defense. Now I have a Salt Cure set on this, which I went for on the Gliscor, and that's gonna help to balance out the healing it's gonna get from its poison heal ability, because of course that's what every Gliscor runs. So I'm gonna go into my Lycanroc. Now I wasn't able to include all of the Lycanroc forms, and so I used Lycanroc Midnight because this dog team has a bunch of bipedal dogs on it, and the first team had quadruped dogs, so I wanted to include all of the dog Pokemon that stood on two legs, and I also have Hisuian Arcanine on this team, just to have both Arcanine. So the Gliscor is going to take some repeated damage from the Salt Cure, which is nice. This Lycanroc is a Swords Dancing Lycanroc with the air balloon. Unfortunately, the next Stone Edge doesn't take it out, and I'm going to get hit by a high horsepower. They have that over Earthquake because they have a Rillaboom on their team with grassy terrain, so that makes sense. So they're going to get some poison heal, but they are on a very low amount of health thanks to the Salt Cure from my Smeargle, defensive Smeargle. Amazing. So I'm going to swap into my Lucario, and I am Choice Scarfed on this thing, so I could go for a Flash Cannon and take out the Gliscor. So now the next Pokemon they're going to bring in is the Armarouge. So I thought, well, this is unfortunate. I don't have really many switches into this, so I have to sacrifice my defensive Smeargle on this. They actually go for the Arthreal as well. So yeah, that's the end of my Smeargle. That was like a Cotton Guard Toxic set. It was crazy. So, swapping in my Hisuian Arcanine. Now, this is also a special Arcanine. This is actually a Choice Specs Hisuian Arcanine. And I take out the Armarouge with the Choice Specs Power Gem. It's amazing. So, Feraligatr comes in. I thought, okay, they have to go for a Water move on this turn, right? So, I'm going to Terrasilize my Hisuian Arcanine into a Grass type. I have a Terra Blast Grass on this set. And the other moves I have on this are Overheat, just like the previous Arcanine. And I have Fire Blast on this set as well, and Power Gem. So they do go for the Liquidation on my Terra Grass. I thought, okay, that's perfect. I could be able to 2-hit KO them with the Power Gem. And that's going to be the end of the Feraligatr. So the next Pokemon they're going to bring in is the Gengar. This Pokemon is very threatening now that I'm a Grass type. So I was like, okay, well, obviously I'm not going to stay in. I'm going to bring in my Okidogi now. Now, this Okidogi is Assault Vested. And this Pokemon has some really good stats. It has really high attack, really high defense. And with an Assault Vest, I can tank a bunch of special hits. So I'm going to go for the knockoff and just easily one-shot this Gengar. I have a Gunk Shot, knockoff, Drain Punch, and Ice Punch with Terra Dark so that I could help with my Psychic weakness. So Rillaboom's going to come in. I wasn't sure if this was Bandit. I kind of thought that they would be the Grassy Sea Acrobatics set, but they go for the high horsepower. And oh my goodness, my natural defense, it just allows me to live the high horsepower from this Rillaboom. I don't even know why this Pokemon gets high horsepower. It's not even a horse. And so I'm going to take that out with the critical hit Gunk Shot. Holy smokes. So the last Pokemon is the Baxcalibur. Oh my gosh. So the Excalibur is gonna go for the Ice Shard. That's easily gonna pick me off. I was like, okay, that's fine. So my next Pokemon is gonna be my Granbull. Now this Granbull is a special set. It's crazy. This Pokemon is also really slow. Even with the Flame Orb Quick Feet set that I have on this to boost its speed, it's just not strong. So the Excalibur is gonna Terrasilize into a Steel type, and they're also gonna have Terra Steel Iron Head, and oh my goodness, that just one-shots my Granbull. No, it wasn't gonna do a lot of damage anyway because I had Dazzling Gleam, but I have this Choice Scarf Final Gambit Lucario, and the Final Gambit just doesn't take it out. No, oh my gosh. This Pokemon has a lot of health as well, so the Final Gambit wasn't gonna be able to take it out. Even if they didn't have any health investment, because Lucario doesn't have a lot of good health. So I thought, okay, it's all down to whether or not I could tank an Ice Shard from this Excalibur. And I do tank it. Oh my gosh. I'm actually really surprised I tanked that, because if Excalibur was Adamant Nature, it was always KOing me. But it must have been like Jolly Nature or something, or maybe like a more bulky Excalibur. Oh my gosh, I was way too close. I almost choked this game as well. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's the end of both games. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.